In the class, we remember now. Now that we come in the class, okay, you can go check in the history what command was that. But unless you really work on this project with cookbooks or knife or really, it's not easy to remember.
That's why I have put this cheat sheet. Have you seen the cheat sheet here? This cheat sheet is useful. All the commands in one page.
So we'll have access to this even after the course. I mean,
I don't commit, but probably likely. Yeah, for some time.
so you'll delete our IDs. I mean, typically you delete after the
That
courses.
is likely to happen, but we'll figure out something. If you need more time, tell me and I'll keep it active. Let's take it that way. So there is a cheat sheet. Use it. I'll not rush to delete. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Yeah, no, because this is where this is your stuff, right?
Right. This is totally me. Yes, I can delete anytime I feel like. I will not rush to delete.
Okay.
Yes. So let's begin step by step. I'll try to be crisp. So on the top, from the top down, I'm looking at our folder list. What do we contain in our write-up? So I'm going to go to look at the tree. It's easier to view. So tree L2, and from the top we have a chef file. You know where the chef file comes from? Collection of all the things we need. Last time we had a older version of Apache 2 cookbook. This time we are using a version 2.0.0. We gather that chef file from that listing we have, which is in this location. We have a chef file here. This list is our chef file. We get it, put that in our chef file location in this file, and then we run librarian chef install. What it does is deletes our cookbook folder locally and creates new cookbooks and puts that in the right place. The next file is a lock file, which is a representation of the chef file itself. You can commit both to Git repository if you like. do.md and ec2.md, these two are the instantiation commands. At the very end, we'll use them. Gem file and gem file lock are the files that we use to reference what gems we need so that we don't end up using random gems, like a gem that he ended up using by mistake, alpha 12 version of chef, version 12 alpha. We are locking ourselves down to this version of chef, for example, 11.16.4. So that's how where gem file comes into play and locks us down in a given environment.
So gem file, I'm trying to get into my head again. So gem file is basically what packages I need to install.
Yes.
Not the software.
It is gem software. Gem is software. Yeah, chef is a software. So in gem file we have knife EC2.
Cookbook is more of a library.
Cookbook is a collection of recipes, and recipes are steps to do on the machines.
Steps to do.
Yeah, recipes are basically things to do on the machine. Do this, do that. And so this is our gem file we used. Corresponding to that, we have a gem file lock. README, some documentation. Vagrant file we did not use. This is from another person. It's another like Nitin shell script, like this guy's shell script. Then we have a cookbooks folder. This folder gets generated based on librarian chef install, and it contains all the cookbooks that we got from the community all the way from on the top through here. So that's what we got.
Reads what?
Librarian chef. Let's see what librarian chef reads. So we'll go to the chef file. It reads chef file basically, and let's read what chef file says. Chef file says go to line number 4 and then get these cookbooks from line number 6 through 28. That's what librarian will do.
Oh, so when I just copied your new chef file from your site, do I need to do the librarian chef?
Yes.
Oh, I just did chef.
Purely chef file alone will not bring new cookbooks.
Right.
You have to ask librarian.
I did upload.
Then you uploaded the old one.
Old one again.
Yes. So you need to delete the old ones and ask your librarian to please use this chef file. Go to the location number 4 here, line number 4. Go to that location and get me 6 through 28.
I just delete my cookbooks folder and then.
Yes. Librarian chef install. That command will make it read this chef file The chef file will read line number 4, go to that site and get 6 through 28 down into the cookbooks folder.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when we have it. Now, the next thing we have is a data bags folder. In this data bags folder, we have two data bags. One containing the user, which is you, me, us, individuals. We will log on to our machines using that username once the machine is all prepared. The other data bag is a secrets data bag. In that secrets data bag, we have a secret. A secret is MySQL JSON, that file we have in there. Or it may not be here at all because we edited that file remotely. And we stored our passwords encrypted with them. And some of us have actually copied it down locally. And we can see what we have. Knife, data bag, show, secrets, and then my SQL secret. Show me what secrets I have. And it will tell me what are the passwords I chose. And so here are the passwords I have chosen for my two environments, development and production. For production environment, I have chosen it to be really, really simple. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, just to make it easy for me. But these passwords in reality are encrypted with Chef server and stored there encrypted. That's the data bag containing our secrets. If you look at the other data bag, which is containing the user called me, users, and the user is Nilesh, it will show you. Okay, I think we should just cat it because it's not encrypted. So knife, we should just cat that data bag. It is local data bag, users, Nilesh. And so that data bag is not encrypted, it's locally available. And this is how it looks like, that we created manually. We took our public key, pasted it in here in a specific fashion, and then gave ID name, GID, UID, shell. And let's keep looking further. So that was our data bags, and we had to give these data bags to the Chef server in somewhere. Then this delete command is a cleanup command, just to clean up any other missed attempts we may have. The next we have is environments folder. In that folder, we have 3 different environments. These are mostly academic in nature right now because all we are doing is using the production environment. But to illustrate the point, we have 3 environments: dev, stage, prod. We are using the prod environment right now in the exercise. Then there are some notes and some more delete commands, and then we have role. 3 roles. There is a base role. The base role applies to all the boxes I have on the planet Earth, maybe the universe, wherever I have. So it applies to every box. Every box will get the base role. And then if I have some web servers, they will take on the web server role in addition to the base. So if you look at cat roles and then say base, it will show you what the base role contains. It contains basic stuff that everybody needs to have, like apt, git, build essentials, sudo, users, sysadmins, and vim. Then we look at some other roles we have, which is roles, and then look at our web server role and open it up. What we have is the base role itself. And then in addition to that, please run PHP, Apache, and some modules for PHP and some modules for Apache. And then that becomes a box containing my web server. We have one more role, which is the DB master role. In that role, we made a little change today. In this change, what we have is the base role plus a reference to a custom cookbook we created today here called Your SQL. Everything else was pretty much like the last time, like we have already. Let's keep looking at our tree. In our tree, we have site cookbooks, and this is a new cookbook we created today. And I will illustrate the point of how you create a new cookbook for you, if you haven't seen it. Is what I'm going to do is this existing cookbook that I have created here, I will rename it, call it XYZ. So MV, your SQL, MV site cookbooks, your SQL to site cookbooks XYZ. I'll rename it. and then go inside the site cookbook and see what I have. And I have XYZ, and I'm going to ignore it for now. I'm come back outside in my chef repo, and here I'll say knife cookbook create, and here I'll give a name called your SQL. And just create that cookbook right here, right now. The fact that we have a knife configuration file that says the precedence should be first to site cookbooks, line number 13, and then to cookbooks, will make that cookbook automatically get created in the site cookbooks folder when you run this command like this. It will create a bunch of files and folders in that location, and it gives a template, an empty cookbook. This cookbook does nothing. And so we want to look at that cookbook itself. And then in that cookbook, in the default recipe, we'll make some changes. And we'll make a reference to the MySQL cookbook after we make some changes. So we'll look at that right now. So here is our site cookbooks, the your SQL cookbook, then recipes, and then default recipe contains absolutely nothing. Here is the nothing. And in that, I want to paste some customization code that assigns passwords and then make a reference to the MySQL cookbook, the real cookbook that we want to use. But the real cookbook does not contain a method of describing passwords. So we will take our customization from here.
From XYZ.
Yeah, from XYZ. I'm just making it easy and convenient on me. I'm going to XYZ, copying it from there. But essentially, you will write these changes yourself. The changes that we like to add are 11 through 17 are the changes that we want to modify and make in this cookbook so that the password is set correctly. And then line number 20 makes a reference to the community cookbook called MySQL server recipe. And then we save this to make a complete new cookbook that references the My Community Cookbook MySQL server. Michael, please copy from browser, refresh the browser, and copy this custom code from there. Not from the previous time, but refresh the browser and take the custom code from the browser.
Which is slightly different with the recipe.
And there are yes. So get from the browser, and the browser does not have line number 20 though. But get it from the browser, and then you close out this cookbook, and then go back here to our listing in the terminal, cd Boeing, and then chef repo, and then make it bigger so you can see properly. Go look at the tree, and now we have our XYZ that we don't need. We can delete that. So RM site cookbooks XYZ, that is gone. And what I want to do is in our site cookbooks, I want to send this custom cookbook I just created. I want to remove, I want to send this custom cookbook to the ops code server in Seattle by saying knife cookbook, upload your SQL, and then -o site cookbooks.
Oh, we don't need to do that.
Yeah, you don't need to do that actually. That is correct. Because knife configuration knows where cookbooks are stored, it just picks up. And so it goes. So we have our custom cookbook there.
Can you go back real quick
Yes.
to your SQL default?
I see. Okay. Yeah.
This your SQL is just a reference, it's not custom. Include underscore recipe. And space, no brackets. Colon. Good. So this becomes your SQL. And then you send it. And then you have to modify your role also a little bit to reference your SQL as opposed to MySQL. So the DB master role gets modified.
Okay.
in the DB master line number 6, there's a reference that says that use MySQL colon server. But now we have to say that please use your SQL instead in your role called DB master. So your line number 6 has this recipe MySQL colon server. You have to say your SQL colon default. And you ignore the default part. That's good. This is a new role. You want to send this role also to Chef server.
Delete the ones currently there.
Right. But yeah, you can send. So that was our site cookbook sent. And let's look at the tree one more time. We just have a new cookbook sent over there. TMP is just country location and workstation is, I don't know what, some more documentation, some write-up. So that's what we have in our collection. We have updated our chef server with everything it needs: cookbooks, site cookbook, secrets, roles, environments. Now is the time to actually do something meaningful. Before we jump, we want to say knife, digital, ocean, droplet, list, and see what we have. Probably nothing. Yes. Then we have to say knife, client, list. I'm doing cleanup step. Basically, there is a pre-cleanup needed from the last time. You want to make sure that there are no name conflicts, that there are no IP address, known host conflicts.
So we have created already last week.
Yeah, leave it alone. Sorry, delete that box and do it again. Yeah, delete old boxes. Do it again. Knife, node, list. There it is. Knife, client, knife, client, list. And also the known host file should go. So RM.
Oh, 1 second. So you're trying to delete all the stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm going to clean up basically. I'll show you the cleanup exercise, cleanup step also in just a minute.
Oh, okay. You haven't gone there.
No, I'm just deleting it, cleaning it up myself. I think it doesn't have. That's good. Okay. The cleanup is like this. These are cleanup steps. Knife client delete if you have anything. Knife node delete if you have anything that you don't from the last time. RM known host. List out your droplets. Delete your droplets if you don't need them. And then we begin. We begin with this step. And this time I have 2 image IDs. One of them is the 1204 Ubuntu, and this image ID is the 1404 Ubuntu. Both of them work. And the sequence will be knife digital ocean droplet create. Give it a name, server name, image ID, which is in this case the Ubuntu 1404 ID. Location is San Francisco. Size is 66. SSH key ID will be unique to you. You have to find out what your SSH key ID is. You probably know already. You bootstrap the box and do nothing. Just install Chef, leave it alone. And then go there and run Chef manually. Just academically, this is what we are doing right now. In practice, you will do probably something else. But we are just bootstrapping the box, adding Chef, coming out, physically going there and running Chef to see how things are working out. And we'll automate all that in one step also later on. But right now we are just booting the box and then adding that knife node run list, add the Boeing box, this role called base. So please take on the role called base. Take the role called DB master. Take the role called web server. Are the 3 steps we are telling that box. Hey box, please become base. Hey box, please become DB master. And also become web server. And by the way, put yourself in the production environment. The last line, this line, put yourself in the production environment. And now when you run Chef, it will take up the production environment and grab all the cookbooks and everything and do it right. If you don't do these 4 lines, nothing will happen if you run Chef client. It will say empty run list and do nothing and come out and be happy. It'll be just an empty box with Chef. So that's the sequence. I'm posting this sequence on our classroom, so you have it.
I had this written in a file.
Fine, you can
It was
keep it.
dot sh and then.
I'll paste it on classroom so you can reference it if you like. But
I have the commands.
Okay, good.
Execute that file. It's dot
Yeah. So just compare your command sh space
sh
space file name. And so you want to make sure that your entries are correct, meaning your image ID is correct, your SSH key is correct according to what you need it to be. And now is the time to start your DigitalOcean droplet, just bootstrap Chef and do nothing and come out of it. And that's this sequence that begins from this line all the way through here. And that part, please check your image ID is accurate. Please check your SSH key is different from these numbers. These numbers are my numbers. Your numbers will be different. This SSH key ID will be different for you. This image number will be the same for you because we are all using 1404. And that's the command I want to run in a different window. Boeing and chef repo. And here I'm going to execute that command sequence and let it bootstrap a machine for me right now. And I'm going to actually next time skip these 4 things and show you if you don't do these 4 things, what happens. So I'll go straight to that box and run chef client and it will say nothing to do. And I'm doing nothing. And it will tell you that it took 0.001 second to do nothing. And then it did nothing. That's what nothing is all about.
Two remote machines or one?
No, just one. Just one. One machine in the DO cloud.
And then do these things.
And you skip the blue box, skip the blue items, just see what happens if you don't do this. What's the consequence? The consequence is it will do nothing.
Yeah.
Then you come back here and do this thing, and you will find out that, in fact, you can even go to the step of doing only these 3 things and not do the 4th thing, and it will still do nothing. Because even if you have given it a role and all that good stuff, you have to put that box in production environment for it to run. So you can run these 4 commands if you like.
Host key mismatch.
Host key mismatch is known host file is bad. You have to delete the whole known host entry. Host key mismatch is basically that. It's a cleanup step needed. If you remember this cleanup step here, that's the cleanup you need.
So RM
You're spending so much time on this. I don't know what's
Host key mismatch is blue line, the blue highlight. Host key mismatch. Your cleanup did not happen completely. Blue line, host key mismatch.
So when you do that known host delete, so you are telling your workstation that I no longer know that
I do not know.
my
Yeah.
service.
The last time I told you I know it, now I don't know because it's a new box with the same IP address. So it's a conflict.
So how did that thing got into known host?
You said yes sometimes.
Oh, okay. When you
Somewhere you said, do you know? You
yeah,
don't know?
SSH.
Yes.
When you do SSH, you can ask. Okay.
Give me a second, I'll be back. Just a minute.
Oh, that's interesting. It's assigning the same IP address.
Sticky, yeah. I think I noticed that last time. Like, one night, I think, yeah, on Monday destroyed it. Let me see what it gives.
Oh, it's still giving
Yeah, exactly same. True, you're right. And maybe there's a set of IPs probably, and it's assigning the user. Same thing for me. Okay.
I see a red line somewhere.
Yeah.
That's quite empty list.
Yeah.
So the run list was empty, right?
Right. I didn't have those the three things, rules.
Okay. Okay.
That's good, right?
Hold on. Let's compare notes. So in my case, there was no red line. It found an empty run list. I think in your case, the error was error expanding. In my case, the run list was empty. So see that in my case, it was here. This is resolving for run list, and run list is empty. So I'm doing nothing. It said node Boeing 123 has an empty run list, and so it did nothing. In your case, you have error expanding the run list.
So
It doesn't know whether it's empty or not.
it's been like my books and my things did not.
Roll. Check your roles. Roles is where the run list comes from.
Yeah, right. So I didn't make any change to the rules. It was already there.
So you should make a change to your DB master role and call it.
I did that part.
Okay.
So my DB master list has got recipe some home SQL.
So for those who had succeeded with this segment here, which is this part, your box is running. You already know the IP address of the box. Be able to enter the box SSH and then run chef client. But before you run chef client, you have to do these 4 things. You can actually copy all of them in one shot and just paste it. So it'll do one by one.
Because like I had the rename XYZ there.
I'll take a look. So we have just completed the adding a role base to this box, Boeing 123, added the role DB master to the box, adding the role web server to the same box, and put that box in production environment. We have done that part. Now, the next step that remains to be done is find the IP address of the box and run chef. So I'm going to find the IP address and say SSH root at IP address, and then I'm in the box right now. In that box, I'll say sudo chef client, and it will now go to the chef server, grab all the cookbooks, including your SQL. You see, it's your SQL captured.
I couldn't run past that line.
Okay. Your password, your key is mismatched. Your public, your identity file should be private key, not public key. You're passing a private key. You're passing a private.
So for no errors.
So was it because I had this XYZ thing before?
Right. You can leave XYZ alone. It doesn't.
So I deleted that. So to make sure redo it, I just do it. Which step is that? Is it part of the? So can I redo again?
Let's see if your box is up and running or not. Your box is up and
Box,
running.
box is up and running. Yeah, box is
Can you SSH to the box? And then private key.
And then my IP address.
It's your root at IP address, which is fine.
Oh,
Which is fine. You're already root.
I'm already
root.
root.
So now here you say sudo chef client. And see what the error are. You do the run list is empty and you finished successfully. You
Good,
do nothing.
Yeah,
That's okay.
okay. Because I didn't do those.
Totally cool. Totally cool. Now we need to do the 3 things, or 3 or 4 things, which are, let's go read something right up. You have it.
Because this error correcting to
So error connecting to is an error of connection, a network error. So you should retry. What did was the last command was?
Sorry.
What was the last command?
Um,
No, not the, no, don't retry the sh. No. You want to say break it, Control C. Control C. And say SSH to the box you have.
so SSH root.
Root IP address and give a private key to it. So if you run into an error, it's better idea to just go to the box through SSH and run chef there directly. If you run into an issue.
So that's it. And what else do I need to give?
A -I and then private key. Private key. Your private key, which is .ssh .idsa
Okay. So
today slash dot today slash dot ssh slash your private key.
You have to run this from your workstation.
If you're,
This
yeah, you should come out of drone and then. So in my case, I think
so I'm on the server now.
yes, now you should here run Super Chef client. I just finished that step. The steps I finished was, okay, what did I do? I did, here. I did line number 12, 13, 14, and 15, after which I SSH into my box and run chef client, and all of that is done. I want to examine my node. I will go to my node directly by saying SSH. I go to the box, and I'm in. I want to come out of it. And I'll say this time, go to the box with my IP address, with my name, not root. See, the name works. Because no, it is not because it is because the data bag item called Nilesh. Not because my name may be Nilesh, but that's immaterial. The issue that I want to check is whether my data bag item called Nilesh.json, which had my public key and my ID equals Nilesh, ID colon Nilesh. Will that login name work now? Is the question I have for myself. And I will use it this way to see if it lets me in. And yes, I got in. And by the way, right now my login name is Nilesh at Boeing, as opposed to root, which I can also always log in as root, which I did the first time.
So you mean an account gets created?
Yes, a user account gets created through the sysadmins cookbook. So users : sysadmins cookbook. We specified a data bag item called Nilesh.json, samahome.json, Nitin.json, or whatever .json that you have. Based on that data bag item, it created a user, because the idea is we should not be running as root.
As a local user.
We should run as whatever else, somebody else with a lower privilege. So I chose Nilesh as my name, and I'm able to get in with that name. So on that box, I'm currently logged in as Nilesh. And if I run sudo chef client again, it's okay to run. Any number of times, it's just okay to run. It will run, and this time do nothing, because it's already done. So it mostly skipped everything else and says, I'm back. The next thing I want to check is my Apache running? So I'll say Apache 2 V. And yes, I have Apache 2 version 2.4 running, which is latest for Ubuntu 14.04 running.
I'm asking for passcode when I do the same. SSH from my workstation. I'm trying to. So from my work. So this is my work from my workstation. From here, I'm trying to.
It is asking you for password because your key is broken. Broken. This key is not.
No.
This key is not this key.
One second. So where exactly? Say this is my user, and this has got the sum of
JSON, and And so compare the public key with the private key you're using, use the same private key and it will work.
So if you see, you mean like, so this is my private key.
I don't know.
This is my private key.
Use the public key. This is the corresponding, what is the corresponding public key? Compare. Rover.pub and compare it with your JSON. See what you have. Yes. Now compare the line by line. Is it the same? CJ3, no. So use that corresponding private key. Whatever that key is, you have it somewhere, use that key instead of Go. It will work.
So you mean like, oh, so where did this?
I don't know where you got it from.
No,
You
no,
copy it from
no,
somewhere.
no, this is not JSON.
Somehow JSON you
Did
copy
I
paste it.
create it?
I don't know how you created it, but you did it. You did something like this. What you did is when you're creating that JSON data bag, let's say $user. This is where you were doing at that time. Okay, not this location here. So find user. This is what you're doing when you're creating a data bag. Remember what you did. See this entry
Right.
here? I don't know where you got this entry from, but that's the file you should be using, and then you can go in.
So I should be using a public key.
A private key
Private.
corresponding to the key you used here. Public key, private key corresponding to the item you have used in this data bag. If you use whatever key you have, then that key will let you go in as a Sama Home user as opposed to root. So Apache got installed. I want to see PHP, whether PHP got installed. And yes, it did. I want to see MySQL got installed or not. And yes, it has. I want to see whether I can log into MySQL. And this is a critical step. This is a test of our data bag, secret data bag. So here, MySQL, I'm logging into the database itself. And there, I'm in the database. Not just checking a version, but I'm actually connected to database console, MySQL, using a password I chose in secret data bag. So check for this. This should also work. This will let you create an application now. Now we are ready to load a WordPress application on this box. Because we have AMP.
I see. So this is my, so I just did a graph with that. So that this is my public key.
Yeah.
So I can use a corresponding private key.
Good. Just go in.
And then-
Somehow at IP address. It'll let you in. Check the key. I think it's a key problem. Definitely a key problem.
If you see here, like see more data bags.
Okay.
And if you like what I did was I grab a little bit of this.
Okay. Grab the whole thing instead.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Whole thing.
And the whole SSH key, public key, grab the whole key.
Mhm.
Just cat your key and compare. Cat your key and compare this manually.
This looks like EAJ.
Yeah, this is it. So what's the private key?
So private key should be ideal for us here.
These three commands, the knife, node, runless, and they need to run on the server or on the workstation.
Always on workstation. Must be the workstation. Except when it is after SSH, then it is on the remote machine. And in your chef repo folder.
Is this successful?
I think it was successful. The error connecting is a retry. It's a
Yeah,
good
so
retry.
after retry 2 times,
Yeah, it
it's
did not
that's
synchronize. So it means that the box got created, but it somehow could not connect to ops code. So
No.
you need to, trying to connect to ops code, right?
So no,
Retry
what I'm
once,
saying
retry
is
two.
that it retried 2 times, 2 out of 5, right? Now it's incorrect, meaning that that's probably
Read succeeded.
Yeah,
So you have it done then.
that's what I'm thinking.
I think
That's
so.
what
I think
I'm
so.
guessing.
I think so. Otherwise, it will say failure here,
Yeah, but
and it will say in red line,
what does it mean, this one?
warning, node has an empty run list, which is expected. You did not do the steps needed to give it a role. You have to take that role and give it to the box. Hey, box, please take on
So
the role
just
called base.
do that next four step.
Yes. Hey, box, please take on the role called MySQL or web server. Take on these three roles, these three lines. Take on these roles, 1, 2, and 3. And please set yourself in production mode. And then you go remote machine and then SSH client, this chef client,
Yeah.
and it will pick up everything you need.
Okay.
And then you should be at a point where you should be able to get to the database itself, log into the database
Nice.
with your username and password you chose in the secret encrypted data bag. And so here I have in my command, in this line, I chose my password 1, 2, 3 and root user here. Root user for database user root
Where did you set the password before?
in the secret data bag.
In the secret, okay.
It was a secret.
So I need to log into the server as root, right?
Correct. At the first attempt, you have to log in as root, and subsequent attempts, you can go as the name you chose.
Yeah, it's a correct one. My-
Is it DO? Is it DO?
Yeah.
It's first time logging in SSH.
Errors for YouTube. I am on YouTube.
Okay. No, not the problem, but then that's understood. So then do it. So you log in. Where is the private key corresponding to this? How you have here? The data back bad. I tell you what the problem is. You should have a new line so that the line gets in between the sheet.
the statement. So I would quit, come out, and then put your public key in the spot, put your data bag back in place, and run check again, and correct it. So grab your key first, and grab your public. Without the marker, without the space. All the way. Grab it. And then place it in the right spot. Clean up in the source itself before you bring it here. It's a good idea to open a notepad and clean up this entry itself. Here, yeah. So the time break when we get to those bases. Just for you. So we want to yeah. So other cases. Remove them. Just to clean up, basically clean up first before you go there. That's what I'm suggesting. Thank you. Either way. Just be that clean up. Clean up too diligently. Like you do already. Not this. David, now you send your updated data bag to your server. So now your data bag.
Like upload, night data bag, upload, not doing the same.
Okay.
What do you do? Night data bag.
Maybe you have the same issue.
Oh, so I changed my key.
Okay, you can upload your new data bag containing your user to Chef server.
You should go to night data bag. From file, right? From file.
Something like that. Nice data bag from my data space. That's it.
Once I upload the data bag, you need to recreate the server.
No recreations.
Just log in.
Just go there,
Log in.
and sudo chef client, and you're done.
Yeah, the logging in was the problem. So
How do I log in using the Nitin user ID? It's asking for a password. What password?
Key issue, you have a key issue like him. So I'll go look at that just a second. So in here,
So
do you have access issues of all types or just some
no,
types?
I could see I could do
Can you access using root?
yeah I could do.
Okay, then run chef client again.
So I could do. So I'm already in that route right now. No.
Okay, if you can access as root and not as summer home,
Yeah.
then your key error that needs to be fixed. You send your updated data bag item
I did.
and then go as root.
So I'm here right now. SSH dash I SSH that's my thing.
And then begin the first time and go by root, run chef client successfully one time, and then you can next time go by summer home.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I did. So I was able to go in using.
So root, right? And run chef client.
Yeah, I did that. And Apache is running. Everything is done. So we don't need to run it
And sudo chef client one more time. And come out and check your data bag entry also. It may have some spaces somewhere in the key. So that's why this
cryptic write-up I have here, which is caution. It has to be like this, not anything else, but just one line containing a whole blob of public key, and quotes at the end and a comma at the very end. Has to be like that
for it to accept in a JSON syntax.
So I exit.
So let's look at your data bag item.
I'm back on
Yeah,
the
like in the workstation, go to your data bags, and then go users, and then nano it, enter, and then nano, tab, nano Nitin Jason, and here you have a any spaces or any issues. Secrets will keep. You don't have any users anymore. You have to send your data bag item to ship server. So come back 2 times. And then knife roll, the knife data bag from file, whatever the syntax is. Put the syntax for you. Here.
So here's how it goes.
Except the dollar user is Nitin. Not.
Same problem.
Specifically give them by name, give it a private.
Yeah.
Tag.
So I could log in as root, and I completed all that.
Then check apart from the login as user, try the other things also. Make sure other things are all good.
Yeah.
Like Apache running, MySQL running, and you log into the MySQL server.
So how do you check Apache running?
Apache-B, PHP, yeah, Apache 2-B,
Apache
2.B, -B, then PHP-B, and then MySQL dash version. Okay, then try the MySQL, then space -u root without space. That's a very peculiar syntax. So you knock off the space in between. The -u root.
like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dash space -p password. P password. And then paste the password. No, not this password. Whatever password you have in your secret data bag. That password. Secrets, MySQL. So you have it in the remote only, so it should be.
How did they go there?
It cannot go away.
No, there is.
You have it. That's the password you have. Super duper secret root password. That whole thing.
Yes, again, prompting for password.
Try the MySQL part. Check if that part works. We'll revisit this user access issue. MySQL login. Are you able to see MySQL running or not?
Are you able to see Apache running or not? And the test cases are here in this last segment.
Yeah, I was able to see.
All three succeeded.
So watching.
Nothing, they all passed.
So the user issue is the only thing remains.
Yeah. So MySQL user password.
Yeah, enter.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. So denied.
Root.
Yeah.
Is it correct? Minus P.
The thing is correct.
Oh no. I think something missed. Right? It's correct, right?
What about yours?
No,
You copy and paste it, right?
Yeah.
You cannot be wrong. MySQL access, you got it. You got MySQL through.
So I was unable to get into this command works. But MySQL is,
Do you remember your root password for MySQL database? When you have it in data bag, so open it up. In the data bag, you have it somewhere. Not in this, not visually, you cannot see it in the browser. Use an encrypted data bag. So you have to go, come out and then see your MySQL data bag item, where you can see it visually. And that will be human readable. So it will be in data bag called secrets. So go on cat it. Secrets. here you have a file for MySQL. You can that MySQL is that's your password. Super root or secret root password. That's your password. Copy that.
Let's copy it, right?
Copy it. Yes. It will come out and go to the other box, the remote box, and in there you log in using MySQL. So type in MySQL space dash UROOT space dash P paste. Paste the password. Problem. I think the codebook needs to be examined. So examine the codebook. The site codebooks. MySQL sitting there. Then we have recipes and file. Delete. Invalid. You did not have Nitin SQL.
On the chef server, right?
Says invalid codebook version in Nitin SQL. It did not exist.
Oh, no, there was one. I checked it.
It's not there. It was not there. But it shows. Complaint. Very strange. So now I could delete Nitin SQL. Say yes. Delete it. Right. Delete MySQL. Yes. Knife. Control. MySQL and NoSQL.
Oh, that
Nitin
is-
SQL. One. Both of them are one. Let us look at the other thing, which is your data plan. Sorry, roles. See roles, add roles, DB master. Here, password is not fixed. In the proper
Still didn't take it.
no, no. Hold on. No.
For others, it's working.
Yeah, so I'm in the same boat as this thing. Like, so if you see Apache 2-B, 2-B working, PHP working, MySQL working, MySQL
Not able to log in.
no space.
Space is okay apparently. Space is password. So instead of CD, I would suggest that you go look at stay in your workstation CD chef repo and here say knife data bag show secrets.
Data
Show secrets and MySQL. It will go get from chef server.
Okay.
Go straight from the source.
Okay.
You're getting it from the source. So this is the password you want to use.
This one, right? The root one?
Yes, yes, this one. Use that one. And, don't paste it here actually. Let it ask you. Let it ask you the question. Paste it here.
50.
So, a couple of things we're going to check, and I'll do it one more time, the whole thing.
It's very easy to do now. So what I will do is I think Michael succeeded with database. Did you? But your user issue is persisting. Yeah. Huh? Okay.
It's a known issue here with EC2.
Aha.
So
Try DO.
what?
Try DO. DigitalOcean. So it will rule out the issues. Like
It's expensive.
it's free.
You only get one, don't you? One droplet?
Yes. Are you running it already?
Yeah.
You get $10 of usage, right?
I'll figure this out.
Huh?
I'll figure this out.
Okay. But $10 you have it from a coupon that I found, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, makes sense. So I want to do this the whole step again. I'm going to come out of this, and now I'm going to clean up. I'm going to come out of the remote box back in my local machine. I'm going to clean up step. And the cleanup step essentially is deleting all things I have. So delete the client.
Okay. You're going to
I'm deleting, basically doing the whole thing. So making sure that I want you to also do this, the critical steps which we are running into, which is our database access is not working for some. Our user access is not working for some. Did it work for you?
Which one?
In what worked for you? Let me put it this way.
Okay, so all the command in the test just to check the version.
They
All
work.
of it.
Work.
The user, I don't know what the password is.
Okay, meaning the key problem you're running into a
Oh, no. When I when I SSH into the box with the user, that was
like
created,
Philip
just use-
user.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just use the key, the normal key that I use for digital.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, that's it. I haven't tried that.
Okay, and what about the SQL login?
No, I didn't try that.
Okay, so let's try that first. On your box, you should be able to find your SQL login using your data bag item and containing secrets. You should be able to find your secret like this. Say knife, data bag, show, secrets, MySQL. That will bring down the password you have chosen from Chef server and show it to you in the terminal. In my case, I'm making it easy for me to keep a short password. So this is the password you should use, this one. And then once you have the box, on that box, you remote into the box and say MySQL minus u root and minus p, and then enter. And by the way, this is my local Mac box, so the password is not this, but that's where you put the password. Let's see what he's doing.
It's a private key.
So you are in the .ssh folder.
Oh, jeez. Right. It's supposed to be here. Well, let me go there.
Yeah, this should show you the secrets that you have chosen. And you should use the root password from here. So copy the root password to production environment. And get that password, copy in your buffer. And then go to the remote box and say MySQL minus u root and dash p, enter. Enter. And say password, enter. And it's good. One more time. Enter.
We'll make sure I copy it right.
You did. Paste it here. Okay. Paste it here.
Is it?
Yeah, enter first. Paste. Enter. Last time. Paste it here. So database failure, database success, user failure, and user failure. Okay.
Right here.
Yeah, so we nail down these problems like step by step. The user problem comes from the fact that your data bag item for your user's data bag is probably not correct. So let's examine that very carefully. The item is here. In your data bag, there is a user's item, and this is a JSON file. The key operative element here is the key, line number 3, SSH keys.
Yeah.
And that should contain your public key. You should use the corresponding private key to log in using a user. The username would be Nilesh.
I can do a new public key, private key.
Yes, you can use any public key, private
So
key.
using that SSH key gen.
Yes, yes, you can. So that's what I suggest that we do. And once we have a data bag created, you want to delete the old data bag completely from Chef server and send them a new data bag item here. Please take this one. So that's the root of focus. When you want to log in as Nilesh, this is what you would do. This is where you focus on. The second item we're running into, which is where the user for MySQL is unable to log in as root, like this command. For that, you need to first of all find out, or first of all, even further, simplify your password. It is way too long. Make it 123, make it XYZ, make it whatever you like, simplify it. Here is how you do that. You do that by saying knife data bag edit secrets MySQL. And this will open up an editor. In that editor, be very careful and carefully select your passwords and make them ABC, simple. Really, really simple. And DEF.
What's the command you give?
I will come back. Let me finish this part and I will come back there. XYZ. So we are editing a remote file right now. And I'm going to come out of here X and say yes. And the command was this, which is knife data bag edit secrets data bag containing the MySQL data bag item, which contains my secrets. And you can edit that remotely in a editor like Nano and keep your items simple to type. We have a very simple set of passwords here. Our identifier and our for dev and prod environments, our passwords are very simple. Keep them simple for at least for this item, which is the root password for production environment, and that changes happen remotely, so you don't have to worry about locally. So keep it remote, keep it away, and we have it there encrypted. So that's the item regarding data bag. That's the data bag item regarding MySQL login.
So MySQL with that command, it's only on the workstation it changed.
That the data bag for secrets is away from you. It's not here. It's not in the workstation. It is remote. The remote data bag item is like this. It sits away from you. You edit like this, and you see it like this. You edit like this. You see it like this. So this is how you edit. Copy and run the command. It will open up Nano. You modify, and you come out. And when you come out, it saves back to Chef server, and then says, "I'm done." It is still saving. Wow. For such a short data bag item, it is still saving. It's amazing. Finally saved. So it saved my data bag item. I want to see what is in my data bag item away from me in the Chef server. I will say, please show me my secrets. And it shows me my secrets. I'm going to check this condition accurately for SQL to work. The other thing we have to check is the special cookbook that we created, which is in our site cookbooks folder. It is called the Your SQL cookbook, and it has these entries. And we want to also check, just for clarity and sanity, we want to delete all our knife cookbook, MySQL, delete them. And I want to also delete your SQL cookbook as well. And then send them another copy, making sure your copies are correct. And examine the copy. So I'll come and examine these, your SQL especially. That your SQL, and clean up your entries from older MySQL you might have, or older your SQL you might have, Nitin SQL you might have. And so knife cookbook, delete your SQL. I'm deleting that one also. It's saying yes to it. Now I'll say knife cookbook list to list out all my cookbooks, and I should see that there is no MySQL in this list, and there is no your SQL either. Now I will, at this moment,
It's actually this command, it's the live show.
Knife data bag show secrets. MySQL.
So I just created a new key and created a new pharmahome.json. The user is. I have created a new key, put it in the same format.
No spaces.
No spaces, right here. I was doing the tab, but I was afraid that made late. Okay.
You can see the passwords have been changed in the
Okay,
secret.
so now knife Data bag?
Right? Data bag, you have to send this data bag item. Before you send it, you have to delete that whole data bag.
Oh, then you data bag delete.
Right? Data bag deletion.
So
Your
click
passwords
this
are changed,
password.
right? Data bag show secrets. So that's good. So you know your password to be used is ABC.
Yeah.
That's what the password you use in MySQL once you're ready there. At this moment, you will also check your cookbook called MySQL and cookbook called Nitin SQL and delete them. And then send them the version that you have created. But before you send them, your Nitin SQL delete that and after examine your Nitin SQL cookbook. Recipe. Delete Nitin SQL, delete MySQL also.
So I can send the new data bag, right? My data bag
Yes,
from
data bag from file and send it.
Oh, from here probably. Right? So right now I don't have a server. I don't have a remote server.
Data bag users will not be found. I think you have to first create the data bag and then send it. So doc steps, doc will have steps. Browser will have steps.
Yeah, yeah. So something like here, right? Like this.
Read the doc.
Oh,
It's easier.
Okay, so MySQL is gone.
Yeah, MySQL is one, your SQL is one. Let's look at your SQL. So show me your SQL cookbook itself, which is the nano site cookbooks, your SQL site cookbooks, your SQL, only in SQL, and then default, and then recipe. So recipe is default.
okay.
Recipes, RECI, tab, and the default. Here we issue. I don't see an issue.
Yeah, space check is
Yeah,
full.
that's exactly what you have. That's
Or is there some issue with the trailing or something?
if you complain, if there is an issue in the write-up, in the language itself, if you complain upfront. So let's send your cookbook, Nitin SQL, send your cookbook, MySQL, over to Chef Server.
So
So I will also send my cookbooks from here. I'm sending knife, cookbook, upload, MySQL and your SQL. I will also check my data bag and also check my user data bag and secrets data bag and my roles. The four things we need: check the roles, which is at my role for DB master. It should say your SQL in this segment, which we have, and make sure this role goes to the chef server, like this: knife role from file roles DB master, and then it goes to chef server. We also need to check your data bag item. The user's data bag item is stored in data bag users. You see that, and make sure that there are no spaces in the key that you have. Some of you are changing keys itself. Make sure your keys are intact, and you have the private key corresponding to this public key. You have it saved somewhere, and you know where it is. Then you want to send your data bag item from here to chef server.
Oh, first, do we want to delete it first?
Yeah, it's a good idea to delete knife data bag. Let's see what the easiest way to delete. Probably right here. You can just delete visually.
I can.
You specifically cannot.
Yeah.
I apparently understand. You did not call them.
I didn't.
So visually, you can delete your user's data bag if you like just like that.
Okay.
And here also, if you have a visual way of examining, make sure that your key and syntax, and if there are any spaces, they will become visible right here. Then you say knife data bag, knife data bag, show secrets, MySQL, sorry, equal to examine the secret stored in your Chef server. So this secret stored I have is the MySQL secret, and it has production environment, and there are these secrets defined, which are all encrypted, but I have it. And at this moment, I will make sure that I am clean, meaning I have knife node list and knife client list empty. Yes, knife node list is also empty. My rm minus rf known host file is deleted. Yes, it is deleted. And then we have any droplets running. You have to kill them.
Knife client list and 2 clients listed, lamp stack server.
Right. So you want to remove any collisions in name. So if you have a name going already, you want to reuse a existing name, it will cause collision. You have to delete those names like this, like these commands, and this command. And that's a cleanup step needed to make sure that you're deleting the nodes that you're not using anymore. Or you can change a different name altogether. You can use a different name.
So knife client. So you asked me to get rid of the machine.
Yeah, we're doing it all over again, basically.
Oh, okay.
Basically doing it all over again.
So
And this time I want to do 2 machines. One is DO, one in EC2. So I'll first do a DO machine, and I'll open 3 terminal windows right now. One is this terminal. This terminal window I will go for DigitalOcean. I will come back. The cleanup command, right? Yeah. So knife client delete, knife node delete, remove your known host file, drop any droplets you have, any EC2 servers you have, just remove them because you don't need them to avoid any confusion. And a third terminal I'm opening up in which I will be using EC2 instance. And I'm going there right now to Chef repo. And here I'm going to use the EC2 instruction set. EC2. And the instruction set essentially creates a EC2 server and very similar steps again. And so we have EC2 instruction set here. And what I intend to do is start the EC2 machine. It will have a name of 787. And starting it in this box. In this terminal window, I'm starting an EC2 machine using a key pair I have with Ubuntu OS, and there it goes. In the other window, I will start a DO box. Here is the instruction set. I'm copying that over. You have your own
role, right?
no role specified, just bootstrap, do nothing. We'll come back, specify roles in line numbers 12, 13, 14, and then put them all in production environment in line number 15.
So no run list or anything.
No, skipping all that. Just boot the box, put Chef. And so this is EC2 happening right now. Sorry. And in one window, I have, where is the third window? Yeah, here is. In this window, I'll run a DO DO machine. So DO machine starting up. In this window, it doesn't show me multi-screens. What's up? Yeah. Okay. So this waiting for SSHD in the DO cloud. Here is waiting for SSHD in EC2 cloud. And here is my workstation. And we'll nail both the issues that you have, which is what happens in your user case in Amazon cloud as well as DO.
Oh, so easy to sort of create command.
EC2 command is here
Oh, it's
on the screen.
you.
Oh, sorry, here EC2 command. I'll open up. This will run, so I'll open up here instead. You want me to give these two files to you in a
Sites.
I'll put in classroom if you like. Yeah, I'll do that. DO and EC2. I'll both these. Maybe I'll put them in a gist. It's easier to read. So I'll put them in a gist. Gist.github.com. This was the DO instruction set. Create a public gist and another gist with the EC2 instruction set. Create a public gist and then take that public gist into the classroom, drop it in the classroom. So here is EC2. Oh, which one is which? Okay, this is DO. Close. And that is EC2. So there are two gists available for you to easily copy and paste, one for DO, one for EC2. And these gists are essentially my write-ups on the notepad I have here. That's what I pasted, DO and EC2 both. And in my one terminal, I have Amazon Compute instance run finished. In the other window, I have my DO finished. Yet? Not yet. Not yet. Where is the thing disappears?